Now what we're talking about is a superfood that is found in the areas of the Amazon, I guess you can say. Well, it's in South America, and this is Sacha Inchi, and I believe it's pronounced that way. This is a company that I've noticed, based on technical analysis, it's been in a strong uptrend as of late. And what I like about them is very, very transparent. Just like the DDDX, you're seeing management continually keep on posting and updating their shareholders. It's actually two companies. There's one that deals with the human aspect. Then there's one that deals with the pet aspect. We are going to be interviewing the CEO of Ambrosia of the Forest and Ambrosia Animals, and that's Nanny Katharina Bahnsen. She, for short, likes to be called Kate. So right now they're trading under the OTC markets with a pink limited information. This was a company that had a stop sign, so they've been really getting current with their filings. I've seen them post continuously updates, and they've been around since 2015. GEGI, a public listed company in the USA, created Ambrosia Animals, a pet food line. And I'm specifically talking about GEGI right now, but she also has QEDN. Ambrosia Animals began working with GMS Green Mind Solutions, and they're out of Colombia. So she's actually joining us from Colombia to develop a healthy animal superfood line. So they also work with various animal rescue organizations to help animals all over Colombia. So this is great for animal control. There are many animals in need of foster homes, which is why they took it upon themselves to foster 200 plus animals over the last 5 years. And I always say, when you help comes back. So I'm sure that their company is going to flourish. Many of which included bottle-fed kittens and puppies. They use Sacha Inchi beverage to help supplement the kitten and puppy formula with omega 3, 6, and 9, and a complete vegan protein with all 9 essential amino acids. One of the issues with normal pet food is that they use unnecessary fillers. There you go. Like wheat, which many animals are allergic to, which causes them to have allergic reactions like rashes and dry skin. Unfortunately, it also means their owners have to purchase special food for them. And that's me, because I know that my dog always requires special food. Ambrosia Animals food does not use unnecessary fillers. It is all natural and healthy because we want our furry friends to have the best food. So that's off of their OTC markets description. Authorized shares, which I always like to trade and buy companies with lower than 5 billion. They're actually at 2.2 billion, and it's been actively updated with this yield. Market cap is 4.2 million, which isn't much. Their restricted shares are 255 million, so that leaves unrestricted at 1.34 million. And that's what we have. What I like, how the stock is trading, it's trading right above that 8-day moving average. We're threading that 8-day moving average. Since December, the stock has been in a complete uptrend. So whatever Kate is doing, she's doing a great job. So I want to first thank her for joining us today. I'm going to actively add her to the discussion. Give me 1 second. You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, beautiful. And I hear you perfect because I know that you're in Colombia right now. In beautiful Colombia.
Correct. I am in Medellin at the moment.
So she is in Medellin, Colombia, and she is the CEO of QEDN and also GEGI, which is Ambrosia of the Forest, which is QEDN, and Ambrosia for Animals, which is GEGI. So let's distinguish that a little bit. And why do we have, two companies and two separate companies?
First of all, is because the pet food market is a very huge market. And the animal market, obviously, with what we are doing with our beverage, is also a very good big market. So obviously we do different stuff for the animal food than what we do for the human food. And we have possible, partners that are looking at us, and we believe that, tomorrow, we are able to work with one of those big companies, we might be able to, maybe keep one or partner with another one. So that gives us a little bit of being able to work with both.
You're breaking up.
To,
oh, there you go. Okay, so you were breaking up. So you're saying that there's a big market for the pet, and actually, it gives you a reason to kind of separate the two because they're just such big markets.
Correct. It's a very, very big. Each one is very big and give us a lot of flexibility. That
Right.
And we also want to grow our brands. Each one having a different brand itself, because branding is very important for us.
Of course. So before we start, with the questions, I just want to know a little bit about yourself. So tell us how long you've been actively with the company. What's your position with the company? And just tell us a little bit about, the company itself.
Okay. I was born in Colombia, in Bogota, but my dad was German. I lived in the United States for, over 20 years roughly. And then I came back to Colombia to work with Sacha Inchi, which is a very old food, old seed that actually comes from the Incas. Has more roughly a 3,000 year history. The Incas themselves, in their traditional food and history. And the biggest problem with Sacha Inchi is that it has a very bitter taste. And that's why, even as this is superfood, which is rich in omega 3, 6, and 9, which it replaces, fish, and also has the 9 amino acids, which is very, very unusual in the plant-based um, field, because usually you don't have them all. And we have more protein than fish. We have more protein than chicken and pork and beef. We have more grams per servings than any of those three. And we, as you know, there is a big trend now going on that is actually um, we humans, can digest better vegetables than what we can digest, animal protein.
Right.
So, and what we did is we started back in 2013, working on the seeds and trying to get that bitterness out and make it, taste good, because that's the hardest part. Most of what you see in Sacha Inche is the oil, which is very simple. People go and take the seed, crush it, and make the oil. And what is left is, what they try to do with, try to sell that. But still, that bitter taste is there. We have worked with a company actually in California that helped us develop, and work with the seed to get that bitter taste and make sure that doesn't have any problems, sanitary problems. They have designed our own equipment here in Colombia to be able to, in our own process, to be able to do it. Nobody else in the world is doing what we're doing. And right now we just finished the beverage, which will compete with an almond beverage, except that it has more protein, and it will be the only protein beverage in the world that has omega 3, 6, and 9, which is very unusual, and it will be a complete beverage for all ages, from baby to people that are older.
Right. So one of the things that I'm listening right now is that you're going to kind of tap into a market that I guess you can say that there's a lot of people that have allergic reactions. As far as Sacha Inchi, that's not considered some type of a nut. It's not considered where it can give people allergens or allergic reactions, correct?
Correct. Sacha Inchi is a seed, not a nut. Which is a huge difference. It's like when the people that are allergic to nuts, they can eat sunflowers and
Right.
allergic to a seed. Sachainchi is a seed, which means plant grows out of the seed. When you're talking about a nut, an almond, it doesn't grow anything from the almond.
Right.
And that's the huge difference. Number one. Number two, our process, we actually do a complete sterilization of our seeds before we start processing. We do the same type of sterilization that should do for COVID-19. You see what I mean? So
Right.
we have designed our own equipment to be able to do that. Therefore, we know that whatever, because most of the time when you have a problem with almonds or nuts is because there's specific mold that grows on the almonds, on the skin itself, on the surface. In our case, not only we don't get it, we actually take the extra step to make sure that everything is sterilized so that we know that for a fact that we are not going to have any problem when our customers have this use it either the beverage or our powder or our snacks or for our pet food.
Right. So Sacha Inchi right now, based in where we can get it right now, where can we get Sacha Inchi? Is it only primarily in South America, or is there other markets that can tap into this, or do you guys have access to it alone?
Sacha Inchi originally is from the Amazon, from Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. Now, because of being a superfood, there is companies in Chinese and Vietnam that actually have taken this food and they have start growing it in Vietnam and China. But they only know how to do the oil. They just do it just to get the oil because the content of the oil is roughly about 48%. Therefore, for them that they require so much omega-3, 6, and 9 is a huge, great source of omega oils. It's a better source than fish. So that's what they're doing. But they don't know how to make it into a tasty seed. We are the only company in the world that is doing the beverage. You can Google as much as you want, and you will not find anybody that is doing the beverage. The only beverage in the world with omega-3, 6, and 9, or, and a complete protein. The only thing you could do is, take, cow milk and add fish oil. That would be the only.
Right. Who would want to do that? Right. Exactly.
Nobody could try that. I don't think so. But no, nobody else in the world is doing what we are doing. Everybody, the only thing, if you Google it, you might find the omega-3, 6, and 9, the oil. Before in Peru, they were using it a lot, and actually they were exporting it. The biggest country that was taking the Sacha Inchi oil only was first Japan, and then it was South Korea. The government actually of South Korea was promoting people to drink the Sacha Inchi oil. And then in the Asian culture, if it tastes really bad, it gotta be good for you. And that's why, people were just drinking like a spoon of oil. That's still a big market. But we know that, in the United States, nobody is going to drink a spoon of oil. And that's why we didn't do the oil. We concentrate on the seeds, making sure that it's tasty, making sure that you can get and come up with a product that you can actually use. The power of our beverage. We have done cookies, pizza. The pizza is actually very good. Pasta, pesto. The pesto is really good. The brownies, Sarah, which she met our YouTube channel, giving different recipes. She has done excellent job with that. And our goal is to be able to, teach people how to cook with Sacha Inchi and come up with also different products. And we are not gonna only have our cooking for humans, but we're also gonna have cooking in different recipes for pet food owners, so that way you can cook at home the meals of your pets, which is extremely important because right now that's very unhealthy. A lot of the pet food that you can find in stores. So we're gonna teach people how to use Sacha Inchi and how to use different recipes, which we just finished 6 of them that people can do at home, and cook for their animals.
So this product that you're talking about right now, the beverage, is it going to be available, or is it available for purchase? Is there, because I know you talked about potential connections to Nestle. We talked about, or I've read about rangeme.com. You've mentioned on some tweets with Walmart and Amazon. How does someone get your product, or when can we expect it to be kind of put out?
Okay, we had Nestle come to our processing plant February last year here to Medellin. But at that point, they were requiring us to make sure that we have all our ISO certifications. Right now, we have ISO certification, FDA certification, halal, which is for Muslim, and kosher certification for whoever follows the Jewish religion. So we got all these certifications. So it has taken us a while because we are making our own equipment and to make sure that we are certified. So what we're doing right now with Nestle, we have an NDA, and right now they're expecting the prototype of the beverage. We just finished it and we're gonna be shipping it most likely. I mean, actually I have it here. I just didn't want to ship it over the weekend. So I'm going to ship it on Monday to them to verify. So that's one of the process that we are going with Nestle. But as you can imagine, it's a very big company. So we have had with them certain conversation about timing on and which possible brand, which it will be probably the fitness brand, that they might be able to get it out. But I do know that it's big companies and it takes a while, as you can imagine, going through the process. And it's taking us a while to comply with all the requirements in terms of insurance, in terms of certification. In the meantime, we have been able to be certified by RangeMe, which is a platform that has become very, very important right now because it allows us, company like us, to be connected directly with buyers of specific companies. At this point, Kroger, for example, we did apply with them, and in that platform, we can see what companies have been looking at us. We did apply with Walmart in Amazon. So we are working right now to be able to open our store in Amazon. But I think that probably, Kroger might be one of the best bets, the way they have been talking with us, let's say, per se, like that. That I think that would be one of the first ones. But we also going to continue because, we need to make sure that we have a lot of access to other buyers. So we're going to be continuing other talks with other buyers, very big, that they are on RangeMe. RangeMe has 106 different buyers. That includes, from Whole Foods to, like we said, Kroger, Walmart, and all of them. And each time that you submit your product to this buyer, that buyer gets exactly what you have, where you have it. And RangeMe verified that you have a product available, that you have everything that needs to be compliant with them. So that's I mean, I do like the platform of Range Me, and I think that we're going to have a great success there.
Right. So it sounds good, because if you're saying right now that you guys are targeting the fitness industry, I know for a fact, because I own a gym, and most of these protein drinks that people buy, they're terrible. Like, they're really bad tasting. So what kind of flavors are you going to have? Is it going to be just like a vanilla or a chocolate, or is it something that you guys are working right now with just chocolate or a specific flavor, or will you have several flavors?
Correct. What we have, our initial prototype, it's made with stevia. It's, it's a sweetener with
Right.
staying away from any, sugars. But our goal is probably come up with 5 different flavors, which will include a coffee flavor. We are looking into, probably a chocolate flavor, a natural flavor. That way you can add something, that you want. Like, and we definitely want to have maracuja, which is something very typical here. So more exotic flavors, and then see how the market goes with that. And honestly, at this point, most likely, as much as we would like to just come up with our brand, which we are working on that, it will all depend what the bigger companies will require from us, which I don't know at that point. Nestle might say, okay, no, I just want vanilla, which we did a vanilla prototype for them. Kroger might say, no, I just want the chocolate or the coffee. The coffee will have no caffeine. But we also have done a very good frappuccino. Is one of the prototypes that we have. Like I said, our idea is to be able to provide people not only the beverage but also the powder and the snack. The snack, which is the seed itself, the seed looks like a macadamia, and we are working in having different flavors with that. Right now, we have done mostly the salt. But we are looking into possibly doing a wasabi cover. We have done the prototype covered with chocolate, so we are looking into doing that, and have different prototypes and different mixes on each product. Obviously, for the pet food, we are going to start with the snack, and incorporate it with some training to help pet owners to see that your animal is not only getting a good diet but also helping pet owners to have a better training, because many times people get frustrated with their animals, and most of it is because lack of training on the owner and on the pet. We own 2 Belgian Malinois, and as you can imagine, the pet food is being designed for high level energy animals like Belgian Malinois, and then go to animals that are more stay at home. That way we can actually do it specifically and know that it's actually good for them and on the required energy that they have, and not having any fillers. That's what we are trying to avoid.
Right, that's definitely important, because I know that a lot of animals, they, longevity of life is very, very important, especially when animals are just eating, things that are chemicals and fillers. It kind of distorts, their health. So that's very, very important. Now, you said you were talking about, installations. You're in Colombia. How many hectares do you have out there? How big is your installation? And do you guys have a big workforce? Like, what's a workforce, and how do you work with the government out in Colombia? Is the Colombia government a little bit kind of tight when it comes to regulations?
Okay, Sacha Inchi is originally from Colombia, and that's one of the very nice and important part of our project. Sacha Inchi is the top crop that is being used to substitute illegal crops like cocaine leaf. Cocaine leaves is a plant that grows very fast. It grows roughly within 5 months. A farmer can have a crop, and Sacha Inchi grows between 5 and 7 months. So by between 5 and 7 months, the farmer can have a crop. So what we are doing is we have several projects with the government where we are doing crop substitution and helping these farmers to get away from illegal crops and turn it into Sacha Inchi. So we have several projects that are being funded by the government. Right now, we are the top company that is working directly with the government to do crop substitution. But as you can imagine, it's not something that goes really fast. It goes relatively small, in smaller spaces, but very good relationships. We have contract right now with for 2,500 hectares of Sacha Inchi. And right now, Sacha Inchi it provides a better yield than crops like coffee, cacao, sugar, and rice, and that helps a lot. So we know that we're gonna have a huge impact on farmers. And right now, everybody knows Colombian coffee, but unfortunately, it's not very competitive worldwide because there are so many blends and mixes. Our goal is to make Sacha Inchi the new crop from Colombia. Colombia has over 5,300,000 hectares available to grow different crops, and we want Sacha Inchi to, have a good portion of that, which it will give us, a good supply. And also, we have Ecuador and Peru, which we can work with on Sacha Inchi. What we do is we work with association of farmers and we buy directly to the association. And our goal is to make sure that your farmer is actually happy. And we pay them a fair price. Plus, with the beverage, we are working that they will get a small percentage of the sale of the beverage. That way, we want to make sure that that farmer is happy. If that farmer is happy, it's not continue growing such change, it's going to grow something else. So that's very important for us to be able to have a good relationship with them, especially because it's a crop that not only starts growing really fast, but every 2 weeks give us more seeds. Therefore, we can actually grow extremely fast. So and there is a lot of varieties in Colombia. There's 24 of them that we still haven't been able to, study all the way. Right now, we're using mostly two, and we expect to be able to work with the other ones and see how what other type of if there's give us a better yield and so on and so forth.
Right. So what you're saying is basically you guys are working hand in hand with the government. So sometimes doesn't the government work with like subsidies? Do they help you guys kind of grow your business too, helping the economy and helping these farmers?
Yes, that's correct. The United Nations and the FAO has two of our projects that are funded by the United Nations and the FAO. Especially what you just mentioned a while ago, Colombia was getting a lot of subsidies from the United States and from the United Nations to do crop eradication, which means that they will go in and take the illegal crop and just leave the farmer, with nothing, which, it didn't work very well. So right now, the United Nations and the United States have said specifically to Colombia that it will not give any funding for that program. It has to be crop substitution. So there is several countries that not only are looking for better crops, but they're also looking in Colombia. One of them is South Korea. They are funding several projects in the south for Sacha Inchi specifically. We, like I mentioned, we're working with two more, and one that is going to be funded this month. No, I'm sorry. Gosh, that July. That's this month. No, this month is.
Wow.
And that's another one that is with the FAO. That's another 200 hectares. But I don't expect that to be till about September, or yeah, something like that, September coming up. So, and more, there is the biggest bank in Colombia, Colombia, has been very supportive with us, and it's actually helping farmers to give them loans to be able to go Sacha Inchi as long as we provide them with a contract. So the way we are working is we provide the farmer with a contract, and they are under a contract with us for about 10 years. We only accept 10 years, and they have to give us, they have to sell their crop, and we negotiate the price from the get-go. So we want to have the stability on the price that makes sure that, the farmer gets, what they need to, be able to have a good, decent income. But at the same time, we want to secure our production.
Right. And one of the things that I want to tell the listeners about this, because this is huge, because I think that a lot of people might not understand what she's saying. So she's basically working hand in hand with the government. And not only that, is she's operating out of Colombia. So her costs are way down. Not only that, you have to take into effect is the rate of inflation of what happens in the United States. So think about that. That's number one. So for people that want to know how she's raising capital, that's an amazing way to raise capital. Anytime that you can create a product outside the country, work with the government hand in hand, and then help farmers make a living, and then work hand in hand with the banks so they can get loans, that's ingenious to me. I mean, to me, that's typically how you want to make a cost-effective company. And the next thing that I know is that you're very active on social media. So is there anything, other marketing activities that you're planning to do? Because I know you have the social media, you're very active when you put out news, you put out information. Will you be using market wires? Will you be putting out press releases soon? Because I think that that's the only thing that I really don't see you guys doing that much.
Yes, but let me add something that you just mentioned before. When we started with Sacha Inchi, I told you, I kind of said before that we work with a company in California that was helping us with developing the process for the seed. At that point, they were processing the seeds, and it was costing us about $25 an hour. So by the time that we got our product out, not only was expensive, there was no margin because we have to compete with other.
Right.
That's why we came here to Colombia, and what you just said is very true. Labor here roughly is, with benefits, is between, $400 to $450 a month. The cost for, an employee, which you cannot even touch in the United States. Therefore,
of course,
the cost is relatively low. We have a free trade agreement with the United States. Therefore, we can bring product at a very decent cost. And we also are looking into, being able to get taxes reduced here in Colombia because of our social project, because this is a social project. Therefore, the government is giving us tax breaks, and we are working to make sure that we get those tax breaks there. So that will help us, at the bottom line to be, a lot better, financially, because we don't have to pay taxes. Most likely, if it gets approved, it's going to be probably a tax break for about 10 years.
Wow.
So that helps at the bottom line too. Yes, we are in the process of, we are right now a yield limited information. We're just waiting for our attorney letter. And when that is posted, we're going to do a press release showing, all what we are doing, and, having more of a regular press release, more often to get the information out. We're going to continue also with all the advances that we have on range meat, especially in Twitter. with all the different companies. They're looking at us every day, and the companies that have asked for samples and so on and so forth. And especially, we want to give access to people what our products say, when we are ready to launch our official, store in Amazon. It all depends, for us to be able to be in Amazon. It all depends if we finalize soon enough any other contract with another, with the two companies that we see it very close, which it will be a Kroger and a Nestle, because it's possible that they will want us to have an exclusive. If that's the case, then we're not going to be able to be in Amazon yet, unless we are just get maybe some product out of the bunch that they're looking at us. So we should have that kind of the definite in that, by August, which is the two deadlines that we have to make that decision itself.
Right. And I noticed that you guys have been very, very active with getting, I don't know if you're involved with it, but getting your filings up to date, getting, the attorney letter ready, because I know there a lot of people are concerned about the September date. A lot of these companies have to be compliant with OTC markets to remain on OTC markets. And I know that you guys are actively doing that. So that's good. So basically I'm going to just close down the interview. But before we do, I just want to tell you is that from looking at the technical aspect, basically a lot of the things that you're saying right now constitute how your stock has been trading. The stock has really been trading very, very strong since December. And I noticed that you guys have been actively trading, and not trading, but actively updating your shareholders, updating people with your company. One of the things that people are kind of noticing is that the world is shifting, right? The pandemic, COVID-19, health is very, very important, because I know that a lot of people, and I don't want to go out and get banned for this, a lot of people don't want to take vaccines, right? So just tell us a little bit about, heading into the future, your outlook, and, why people should consider investing with your company. Because we're seeing, the output right now as far as the information that you're putting out there, the news, the updates. We're seeing how well QEDN and GEGI is trading right now. But just give us an overall kind of like a breakdown if you're looking to invest in an OTC stock, especially, a company that's kind of tapping into the superfoods right now, a product that really isn't found anywhere else, but it has its roots in South America, in Colombia. Just tell us why a shareholder should really look, or an investor should really look into your company.
One thing that you just said that is very important, and I'm gonna post that. There has been several studies, one of them by Harvard University, where they showed the effect of omega-3, 6, and 9 on people having COVID, because it actually, omega-3, 6, and 9 is an anti-inflammatory. So therefore, if you get sick, most of the problems you have when you have COVID is that all your pulmonary and you get inflammation.
Right.
Our product, it helps to have a better immune system. Like you just said, many people, don't like to take the vaccine. I just took the Pfizer myself, and honestly, I haven't been feeling that well. And now, they are already saying that you gotta have another booster with this variant. I believe that honestly, the only thing that can actually help us is have a good diet. That if you get it, because it's not, actually no, there's not if you get it, when you get it, when you get COVID, at least you have a better fighting chance. So for us as a company, we believe that, we want to have good food available for people to get a better immune system. Sacha Inchi has omega-3, 6, and 9. which is not only an anti-inflammatory, but it also promotes serotonin. Therefore, you have a better state of mind. You are not in, and I eat it every day. I eat the beverage and everything. And sometimes things happen, and I mean, the world might be ready to fall apart, but you are still calm. You can think. You can actually, feel good about yourself. And I think that that's what is not so much for me. You know, letting people know that such change is good is something that you have to find out for yourself. But I believe that having good product out and giving the ability of people to be able to try them, it will.
I think that you're on. Are you on?
Yes, I'm sorry. I think that I had, just cut off for a second. So, but I appreciate you guys listening to us, and we will keep you updated whenever we have ready for everybody to try our products.
Definitely, we definitely want to get those updates, and then hopefully we can kind of touch base again. But just from the looks of it, I know that you don't really deal with the stock. It really shows strength in your stock, and I post on it because it's I could see just the transition of where you've come since December till now. So we're looking forward to it. We're gonna keep tracking you guys, and we're gonna put this video on YouTube. So hopefully you can kind of tag us and then repost it so we can get it out there to hopeful investors. And I really, really thank you, Kate, for your time.
No, thank you very much for inviting me, and we will try to get you guys posted and let everybody try our products. And like I said, good products will show at the end that the company is strong, and we're gonna be able to get lots of products out.
Awesome. All right, you have a great weekend. Thank you, Kate.